Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jay, and you're with Solid Gravy. Today, guys, we're going to be looking at a new game that has been released by Nexon out of Korea. It is called Lego Quest and Collect. Now, first things first, if you're watching this in most of the countries in the world that are English speaking, you'll find that this game is not available to you at the present moment. And the present moment is the 1st of August 2017. This game has only just been released in Asia. I believe it just came out in Japan a few days ago. So what I've done is I've actually changed my Google Play country location to an Asian country. I chose Thailand. That is where I was at the time when I got this game. If you don't know how to do that, there are millions of videos on YouTube on how to change the Google Play Store or iTunes Store country. I think it's a lot easier with Google, but have a look around. You may need, or the easiest way is to use a VPN. I do have a link at the bottom in the description for the VPN service that I use. It is an affiliate link. You do save money by going through it, and I also get a little commission from it also. So worth looking into that to get this game. It is fantastic. It is brand new. Still sort of building up in the player base, but it still has over 500,000 downloads for Asia alone. So when this gets launched in the Western countries like the US and Australia and England and things like that, I can see this one blowing up quite big. So what it is a game like a lot of games where you collect characters, or they're known as heroes, and you build teams and you go and do quests, kill enemies, that sort of thing. There's PvP in the game, but it is the same sort of game as your Summoner's War, your War of Crown, and all of those other big titles that have come out over the past few years. Your Seven Knights and those sort of games. It's just Lego themed, so it's a little different. At the moment, it is in its sort of infancy in terms of content. There is not a huge amount of content in the game at this present moment, which is good and bad. It's good in a way. It means you're able to catch up to the players that have been playing for the last sort of month or two since it's been launched. And it's bad, obviously, because you get to the point where you run out of content. But because it's new and it's still launching, there will be tons of content coming out in the near future, or at least I hope to see that happen. So jumping on the game now has its benefits because there is a grand launch celebration event which enables you to get a legendary character here after logging in for 5 days. So that's pretty cool. And you do get a bunch of cool little gifts, and I haven't actually. I've basically what I've done with this account is I've just logged in. I've gone through the tutorial, which sort of guides you along and shows you different aspects of the game. So I've done that, and I've left it as soon as I finished the tutorial. I've left it as is, so you can see what I do from now on. So first things first, I'm going to actually go in and collect everything from my mailbox. So you collect these gems. I don't know what the name of them are. I'm going to call them crystals. So you collect these crystals. They are the in-game premium currency for the game to purchase. If you want to use real money to purchase things in the game, you can purchase either bundles or you can purchase these crystals. So bananas are the energy in the game. So up here you've got your energy. Depending on your level, depends on your daily cap. And then you've also got your characters. So I've just collected a character. This is Zane. Now apologies, I'm playing this on an emulator. I'm playing this on BlueStacks, and as you can see, the graphics are not the greatest. On a native Android device like a tablet or a phone, it does look a lot better. There are graphic settings which I'll show you in a minute. Let me go and do that for you quickly first. So there are graphic settings, high, medium, and low. It doesn't make a difference on this unit, on the emulator, but on a phone, if you're struggling to play it, like my phone, I've got an older Samsung, and I can't play it on high. So mine's currently running on medium. But look, at the end of the day, it's Lego, so it doesn't really make an awful lot of difference. So where was I? Back to the mailbox. I'll collect these very quickly. So this is a event rewards for logging in. These are your items. These are blocks, building blocks, and they are, I guess you'd classify them as your equipment that you equip to your heroes. And I'll show you that in a second as well. Each color dictates what stats they've got on them, and I'll go through that with you in a minute as well. So it's like in War of Crown or Summoner's War, you're adding weapons or what do they call them? Shards or I can't remember what they call them in Summoner's War now, but the items that you add to a character to boost stats. So in this game, they are the building blocks, Lego blocks. So we'll collect all of these things very quickly. So as I said, jumping in the game early, sort of the launch, you get all of these huge bonuses. So I've got a ton of bananas to go ahead and do as many levels as I possibly can. I've also got a fairly decent number of crystals, which also helps out as well. And I'll show you what I've been spending my crystals on. You got your daily missions, which gives you 200 crystals at completing it. You got your challenges, which is obviously for completing different episodes of the storyline. And then you've got your standard achievement list as well. So I'll collect all of these very quickly. There's a million different achievements and challenges and things. And I feel like every time I play, I feel like I've achieved something, which is fantastic. And it builds up my my stock of crystals, which is quite cool as well. So the in-game currency is studs, which is the little Lego studs. I haven't really run into an issue yet with running out of money. Money is spent for two aspects of the game at this point, and I'll show you what those are in a minute as well. So we just collect everything here. Just wanted to quickly run you through all of this. So going back to heroes, we'll have a look at heroes. So these are the current heroes that I've unlocked. The ones that have got the selected is obviously what's selected for my team, my main team that I'm using. They're broken up into 3 different classes. Like in a lot of games, you've got your the one with the sword is your damage dealing class, your DPS class. The one with the wings is your healing class. The one with the shield is your tank class. So it's a 3-person team, or a three character team, and ultimately, logic tells me that the best team would have one of each of those classes in it. So not necessarily the best way to play, but I guess that's what they were aiming for. So when you go into a character, it tells you what type of class they are. It says it's a physical attacker. Okay, so there's 2 types. You got physical and magical. This is a physical attacker, and because he's a 3-star red, it means he's a normal hero. So you've got I'll go back to that very quickly. You've got silver stars, which is classified as I don't know what they call them. I know that they call the purple ones legendary, but I'm not sure what they call the other ones. So basically, there's 3 types. You've got your silver stars, your red stars, and then your purple stars. Purple stars being the strongest, red stars being sort of your average character, or your slightly above average, I'd say, and your silver stars being your average character. So going into them, as I said, it tells you what class they are, and then you've got your stats here, which is dictated by the level of the character. So this is currently level 5, as well as the enhancements on the character. So as your character builds levels, as your character gets higher in levels, you unlock more parts of this board, I guess you'd call it. And then basically what you can do is you can go through your list of pieces, your Lego pieces, and put them on the board. And we're going to do that now with this character. So what we're looking for is a color or a piece that fits with physical attacker. So this one is a physical defense being the main stat. Magical attack for this blue color. Yellow is physical attack. So we'll just make sure that that's the case. Yes, yellow is physical attack. So we'll go ahead and place some pieces in here. to boost the physical attack of this character. Now, what you do as the game goes on, you start stacking up more and more of these pieces. As I get higher in level, you'll unlock this combine button down the bottom here, and what that does is it allows you to use or to combine 5 pieces of building blocks to create a next tier building block, which has obviously increased stats. So, for example, I'll give you an example of that. This four piece here has higher stats than two pieces, obviously. So you want to try and use the higher valued pieces as much as possible, and as the board unlocks, you're able to do that a little bit easier. So we'll head back out now. So he's been done. My healer is a magic support class, so she uses magic. Now with support classes, you have a choice. You can either put in magic attack, which boosts. Actually, let me just double check that. Actually, so if I clicked on this, it's just a blind removal. So I click on this. So this one is magic attack. So there you go. So basically, if you click on the skill, it tells you what stat gives the benefit for the effect of the skill effect. So in this case, I would stack magical attack on this character by using the light blue squares to boost the magical attack of this character. And I've already put a piece in here as part of the tutorial, so I won't go through that at this point because I just want to continue going through. Sorry, let me just jump back in here. And for the tank classes, they are a physical defender. If you clicked on these again, physical attack boosts that as well. So with my tank classes, I mean, I think a nice mix of defense and so like for example maybe building hit points. Again, you can tweak these, you can change these on the fly. So if I put that in there now just to boost up my health on the character, but I wanted to change that later on, I could go back in and I could take the piece off, and I can interchange them as the scenario fits. So as the levels get harder and you start to lose characters or don't complete a level with a 3-star, you go ahead and tweak your heroes as appropriate. So there we go. So that's the hero section. The diorama is probably the next thing that's pretty complicated. So as you level up, as you go through the main story, you unlock different dioramas, and inside a diorama you have building locations where you can build different buildings, and each building gives you a bonus, so a buff. So this is a 10% buff to physical attack. Can't actually click on it, but so as you level up, you unlock new areas to build within the diorama, and you're able to add new buildings in. So as you can see here, I've got a choice of 2. 20% buff to physical defense or 20% buff to magical defense. And if I get my diorama to level 6, it unlocks these other 2 buildings, which give you a slightly higher buff rating. Now the buff rating at this point, from what I can understand, it buffs you in PvP, and I don't believe it does anything for PvE. I may be wrong, but definitely 100% it buffs your characters for PvP, and I can show you that in a minute or so. So we're going to go ahead and build another building shortly. I just want to quickly have a look at my PvP lineup at this point in time. So another confusing thing is this is the main screen here. To get to certain features of the game, you actually have to click in the diorama, and then there's buttons underneath the dioramas that open up different parts to the game. So as you can see here, I've opened up 3 vs 3 PvP battles. And once I complete episode 2-5, I get to open up treasure, and I get to open up extreme, at 4, and so on and so forth, as you work through the levels. So the actual gameplay at this point of the game is quite straightforward. You have episodes, and there are 15 levels per episode with a 3-star max if you complete it without any of your characters dying. That is what it's based on. And as you go into each level, it sort of tells you who you're going to be fighting against. It also tells you what's going to drop, or potentially can drop, and it tells you what the main boss effect is. And if you hold your button over that, it says that this boss blinds. So you can actually look at countering that, and you will. It doesn't play much of a part in episode 1, but as you get to episode 2 and 3, the theme of the episode is a certain type of effect, and I believe episode 2 is poison. So you want to sort of have a poison resist character within your team. So we'll quickly run into the game. So when you start the level, it says your team's power and the recommended power. As long as it stays above that, you should be fine. You can swap out and edit your team on the fly as you're in the level. But we'll go ahead and actually what we'll do is I want to swap out Kai for our boy, that guy there. See what happens. So damn it. I pressed the wrong button there, but we'll go into a quick level and see how it all plays out. So adventure start. So I've got it set to auto move, auto skill. It basically plays itself. For your normal levels, it's usually not a problem as long as your team's power is high enough. You shouldn't run into any issues. When you do fight bosses, it does play a slight. You sort of need to be in front of the screen to move your characters out of the special abilities from the bosses. They run through that in the tutorial on how to do that. But your standard levels usually is not really a major problem, so I'll let that play out itself. And if I do encounter a problem where I don't finish it with 3 stars, I go back and run it manually and see if I can finish it. If not, obviously I tweak my characters around the level. So every level has stages or parts to it, and then you have a boss fight at the end. It's not a major boss, but it's a boss fight nonetheless, and it drops pieces, so you can unlock these characters as if you repeat the level, and so on and so forth. So I'll quickly show you that when we finish this. So I've just killed the boss, no losses, which is fantastic. Nice little 3-star finish, which is good. Adventure clear, 3 stars, fantastic. So there we go, I've leveled a couple of toons, which is great, and I've unlocked some pieces. So I've unlocked a piece for this character and a piece for this character, and if we go back to the main menu, you can see how you're tracking with all of your characters. If you go into the hero section here, underneath here you've got all the different characters that you can unlock, and it tells you how many pieces you've got before you can unlock them. So that is very important. Also, with the characters that you have unlocked, what it does is it allows you to build pieces up, and we'll go into one that I actually have pieces for. I don't think I've got pieces for any of these characters actually. Oh, there we go. So there we go. This one, to rank him up to the next star level, I need 20 pieces, or 20 pieces of the pizza boy. I've got 1. So I need another 19 to unlock, to be able to rank him up. And that's the same for all of these toons as well. As they get higher in rank, as you can see, this is a 3-star. You need 80 pieces to get him to 4. And from 4-star to 5-star is probably 100 and something odd. I'm not too sure, but unlocks. So there we go. That is the game in a nutshell. Basically, my suggestion at the moment is there's a couple of things that I do on a daily basis. Once you're up to the point where you've unlocked everything, you've unlocked your treasure. Treasure's your daily quests, or your dungeon sort of quests, where you can get studs from it, or pieces. My daily routine at the moment is logging in, jumping straight into the shop, going to Cube. You get 1 free hero per day. There is a very, very slim chance of getting a legendary character. I haven't got one, but there is a slim chance of getting a legendary out of it, or a 3-star. So normal, hero, and legend. That's the breakdown. There we go. So there it is. So to get Oh, okay, so there you go. So it's 0.5% chance of getting a legend, and then to get a 1-star legend is 78. So the odds of getting a 3-star legendary out of one of these boxes is stupidly low, but there is a chance. Now, if you get one of these per day, as well as you get a few of these soul brick, is it that one? Yeah, these soul brick things per day as well. But something that I didn't realize, and it's very important, if you scroll right to the very right of the cube section, you get 12 of these per day, and each one of these contains a ton of building blocks, and these building blocks are very important. So I would very, very much suggest getting your 12 per day. Very, very important. It costs 5,000 studs every time you open a box, but I'm telling you, if you jump on this early, and I didn't know it was there, you'll have enough building blocks to really open up your dioramas, which is quite important. So jump onto these, get your 12 per day. If you do start running out of studs, because you've been given a fairly decent amount of crystals, you can actually, for a very small amount as well, if you jump into here, for 100 crystals, 100,000 studs. Not bad, but I would definitely keep up with that. So you can jump back into the dioramas here, which I'm going to do now, and unlock another building very quickly. So we're going to unlock this one. So I don't have enough of these, but if you click on it, it tells you what level you should you can actually get them from. So you can actually click onto that, and then you can go ahead and repeat it. You've got 12 repeats per day, or you can unlock another 12 for 100 crystals also. So I am going to be running a few more videos of this game as I play it from now on, and I hope to give you some more tips. I haven't seen any videos on YouTube yet explaining the game, apart from videos of the intro trailer. So I hope to try and give as much information as I possibly can with the limited amount of information on the internet. So stay with me, guys. I hope you enjoy this type of video. If you want to see more content from your mobile games, please let us know in the channel or in the comments below, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.